this is Spring Porter with Spring Solutions LLC. In this video, I wanted to give you 10 things that I wish I knew before starting an unclaimed fund business. I guess some of these topics could also be related to any new business venture that someone is starting for the first time. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts and ideas on this, please stay tuned. Please note that I am not an attorney. This information is not indicated as legal advice. So happy Veterans Day to everyone out there who's ever served. I really appreciate you. Thanks for serving our country. Most of my family member are retired military people, so I can truly relate, and I salute you. Thank you so much for your time and service. First thing on this list, it's important to know that when you're starting a business, you are not going to always make money right away. It takes time to get things going, and that is part two. But the first one is to know you need to have some money saved. You need to maybe keep a part-time job or keep a full-time job until you're able to make your new business venture work. Specifically for bankruptcy unclaimed funds, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It does not matter if you're working in real estate overages, state overages, or bankruptcy, or you've combined all three together. It still takes time to make it work. And even though some of those payouts can be very large, again, you have to make it work for you and make sure that you're fully understanding the process. That could take 3-4 months, maybe longer. It depends on how the process is working and how you're making it work. So number 1 and 2 kind of go together. You don't always make money right away. It takes time to see things through. And you have to kind of see a claim from beginning to end, maybe how it comes in, how you approach it, what the process is like, to how you get the payout, to how you pay your client. It's a wave. It's a process that you have to learn, and it takes time to do that. So don't be in such a hurry. Don't be out of desperation. This has to work, or else. Make sure that you're taking your time. You have things in order. You have things step-by-step process on how you're supposed to make this work. So just keep that in mind. Money doesn't always come right away. Make sure you have your go-to, like your goals on why you're starting this to begin with, because the money doesn't always come when you want it to. Number 3, we've talked about 1 and 2. So number 3, you're going to make mistakes. This is something new to you. This is something that you don't have, may not have a mentor for someone doing this. So you're going to make mistakes. Sometimes they're going to be small and it doesn't cost you that much. Sometimes you can fix it. Sometimes it may cost you a lot. That's all part of the journey. It's kind of like going through life, being in any kind of relationship. Business ventures are the same way. You're going to have to take the good with the bad, and hopefully you're learning from your mistakes to not repeat them again, or to say, hey, if this ever were to happen again, this is how I would handle it. So just make sure that you know that some mistakes are good and sometimes they're necessary. I think the point is just to not continuously repeat them and make sure that you're learning from them. Number 4, you have to be super disciplined and motivated to do this job. And you got to be very organized. Now, you can always pay someone to organize things for you, pay for CRMs, pay for someone to do data entry for you, the secretarial things that maybe you don't like to do. You can always pay for that later if you have the money. But even then, you still have to be motivated. You still have to make sure you're able to delegate the work to other people to get them to do things. As I've stated, this is a different kind of business. No one's looking over your shoulder. I mean, you may have partners you work with, but they're expecting you to kind of pull your weight. You are usually, for the most part, starting this by yourself. So you look in the mirror, you're your own boss. You know how you like to work. If you want to take a few days off, just know that you're going to have to make that up somewhere down the line in the week, or make provisions if you do want to take time off. This is the kind of business, unclaimed funds, that is, where you can kind of pick it up and kind of work anywhere as long as you have like a working internet connection. You can kind of do this almost anywhere, but you still have to make time to physically do the work. So make sure that you know that you're organized, you're disciplined. And these are practices that it's like a daily practice, like working out or meditating. You have to do it little by little. I have become more disciplined now than I did when I worked for other people. And sometimes it's kind of weird when you're working for yourself. So for me also, it goes both ways too, because I find myself I found myself in the past and just realizing this when I worked for other people, I was always the one to do above and beyond what they asked. I wanted to be like that star employee. But when I find out that that doesn't always get you the results that you want, you don't always get a raise because of that. You don't always get the recognition that you're looking for because you go above and beyond. So just make sure that you take that if you're that kind of person. You got to take that and do that for yourself. Do that in your own business. Do that in your own life. And I'm learning that more and more as I've become older, that I have to put in the same time and energy that I put into other people and other relationships. I have to put that into myself. And that is a little bit selfish. And especially if you're a woman and you're so used to doing everything for everyone else, take the time and do it for yourself so that you're not always the low man on the totem pole. And when you do that, you will see certain things being reciprocated back to you. So sometimes, and this may be a little bit more spiritual and a little bit too TMI, but when you're in certain relationships, personal and maybe romantic relationships, just an example, if you're putting in all the effort and all the work, and the other person is just reaping the benefits, it's not going to work. It's a lopsided, unreciprocated relationship. So those fall to the wayside, and you don't want to be like that in business either. A business is kind of a lot like being in a relationship, whether you're working with a partner or working for yourself. Make sure you're putting in that time to make sure that it does work. All right. So I wanted to make sure that you are realizing you got to be disciplined, you got to be organized, you got to be motivated. Number 5, your process may change a lot, especially if you're coming from someone who's doing real estate overages to tax overages, and you're doing everything all together. That process is different. So you may need to tweak it a little bit when you're dealing with bankruptcy or if you're dealing with state funds, because the process is not exactly the same. Even the way that you reach out to people may be a little bit different. Your script may change a little bit. Maybe your marketing tools may change to them. So just be aware that it is a growing thing, your business, and you may have to tweak your ideas, how you approach people. Maybe certain letters that you used to say, maybe you can't say them anymore, or use the same ones. Maybe you want to change the look or the actual logo that you're using. Maybe you've had an epiphany and you're like, oh, I want to go with this now, make it more simple. I mean, it's up to you. You have to see and be in it long enough to see what has worked and what doesn't work. So don't be so quick to throw in the towel, is another thing that I wanted to say. So number 6, you have to fully understand like your business taxes and your deductions before you're starting a business, especially something like this where you're not keeping all of the money, you're just taking a portion out of it. You want to make sure that you're speaking to your tax preparer, and especially if you're someone who has a platform like a YouTube or you're doing other social media, there may be other deductions that you could be adding in that maybe you're not aware of. So always speak to a tax preparer before you're starting this. Find out what your liabilities are, what can you deduct. And I've mentioned that before in a previous video, but it's true. Make sure that you're doing that first. Don't ask me. I'm not a tax preparer. I'm not an accountant. I know the very basics. You need to make sure that you are speaking to that person that does your taxes prior to you starting a business. All right. And tell them what kind of business, and keep an idea on like maybe 2 or 3 years down the line. Will it expand? Will it expand to what? Will you have social media attached to that? So make sure that you're kind of brainstorming and you're letting your tax preparer know all of your streams of income and the potential of like what it could grow into. Make sure that they're aware of all those things. Another thing on there, on this list is 7. So your goals will change. When you get to a certain level of success, whatever that looks for you. For me, my first stepping stone was I want to make what I made at my corporate job. All right, I did that in the first year. And now it's like, okay, one year I hit 15, and it was last year, I hit 15,000 in 1 month, both from the deals that I have gotten and then the course sales combined together, it came to 15,000. And I said, I'm going to try to get that goal every month. Sometimes I don't always get it, and sometimes I come close, but it's not, and sometimes I don't come anywhere near close. So your goals are going to change. You're going to constantly want to expand once you've tasted a certain level of success, and that looks different for everybody. If you're dealing with real estate overages, you're going to meet 6 figures a lot faster than you would if you're just dealing with one genre completely or just one stream of income. If you have multiple streams of income, obviously that's going to increase your level of what you want to make and what your goals are. And everybody has different goals. I want to be a better teacher. Yes, I want to make more money. I want to do certain things. And I kind of want them all to happen simultaneously. So that's, some of my goals. Another thing, number 8, and this is a hard one. Don't compare yourself with other people. We live in an age of social media. I know I do it. I look at people, I look at other women who are in different businesses, but they have businesses nevertheless. And I'm like, wow, they're so pretty, or they're so slim, and they make so much more money, and they maybe not put that much effort. But to be honest, you don't know what people are dealing with when they turn off the cameras, or what projects that they're secretly working on, or what projects they tried that did not work, or they're still trying to make work. Don't compare yourself to other people. Someone's made higher payouts, or they're dealing with a different genre and they're doing so much better than you are. But there's only one you. You have your certain type of personality. You can offer certain gifts a different way than maybe another person can. So do not compare yourself to other people. Competition does exist. There's enough money out here for everyone to make some, right? And you have your own goals. You have your own reasoning for doing this. So it's a good to kind of look and nod to see who competition is, but don't be obsessed with it. And that's similar to anybody on social media or anybody who's doing a business. It's like, oh, I wish I could be that. Well, there can only be one Mark Zuckerberg. There can only be one person who's doing a certain business. There's different avenues to doing this on a state level, on a federal level, on all levels. There's just different avenues, different states, different districts. There is competition, but don't be obsessed with it. Number 9, there are going to be times that you're going to want to quit. There are going to be times that this is going to feel like a regular job because you've gotten into a groove and you know what kind of tasks that you have to do every day or every week, or you have certain goals that you have to meet for yourself. And there are going to be times that you're going to not want to do this, just like any other job. There are some days that it's going to feel like a job, but you just have to know that you can't quit. You can't quit. There's no income. You don't have a business. You have to constantly push yourself. It's like, again, going to the gym or doing any other kind of relationship, being a mom. There's some days that maybe I feel less as a mom, and there are some days I feel like I'm the super uber mom. It's like anything else. It takes time, and you have to work at it to become better. So don't quit. You may be able to take a small break here and there and gather your thoughts and reevaluate your goals on where you want to go. And maybe that's something that you can do. And then maybe take smaller steps to changing or tweaking them so that you can achieve your goals. But don't quit. Take a step back and kind of look at what it is that you're doing before you just completely give up. Number 10, you have to realize that people are weird. The people that you call may not always believe you when you're trying to reach out and convince, the general public. You're going to run into all walks of life. And if you're already doing this, you kind of already know what I mean. There's some people that are going to laugh. They're going to hang up. People are just weird. There are some people that may have a large amount. You may speak to them on the phone and they're still not going to want to collect the money. Again, people are strange. And if you're on social media, you have a YouTube channel, you have a social media presence, you're going to have viewers that reach out to you that may say weird things to you. You may have people call you that are weird, that may say certain things and hang up. People are strange. So you have to be prepared for that. And even people that come at you with doing business ventures, they may not explain it completely. Just be prepared to deal with people. If this is something new that you're doing, you're venturing out, I'm more of an introvert. I don't like to deal with a whole lot of people. So that's something that I'm still dealing with, is trying to get used to just the different personalities and different people that come along your way. And just know that not everybody has good intentions that do come your way. And just be prepared for that too. All right, so I hope that this video is helpful for those that are just starting a business. You could probably add 100 more things along this list, but these are the things that I think that are the most important to know. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, I'd be willing to help you. It's springsolutionsllc@gmail.com, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.